Is your transmission acting up, shifting harshly, or has that check engine light suddenly popped on? You might be dealing with code P2740. This diagnostic trouble code points directly to a malfunction in the transmission fluid temperature sensor B circuit. Essentially, your car's computer, which we call the PCM, uses this sensor to track how hot your transmission fluid is running. It needs this data to decide exactly when to shift gears and how much pressure to apply to the torque converter clutch. When this sensor fails or sends weird signals, the computer gets confused, leading to issues like late shifts or even putting your vehicle into limp mode to protect itself. This sensor is basically a thermistor, meaning its internal resistance changes based on the temperature. As the fluid gets hotter, the voltage signal should drop. If the PCM sees a signal that does not make sense for the current conditions, it sets this code. To fix this, you are going to need to get your hands a little dirty. Start by popping the hood and, if accessible, inspecting the wiring harness going to the transmission. You are looking for any burnt wires, loose connectors, or corrosion. If everything looks good on the outside, the issue is likely internal or electrical. You'll want to grab a scan tool and monitor the transmission temperature data. If the sensor reads an extremely low temperature when the car is warm or a ridiculously high one when it is cold, that is a red flag. For a more precise test, disconnect the sensor connector and use a digital multimeter set to ohms. Measure the resistance across the sensor terminals. As the transmission warms up, that resistance should change smoothly. If the resistance stays stuck or reads open, the sensor is toast and needs to be replaced. You should also check the reference voltage coming from the computer. With the ignition on, use your multimeter set to volts to make sure the sensor is getting its required 5 volts from the PCM. If you have 5 volts going in and a good ground, but the signal is bad, replace the sensor. However, if there is no voltage reaching the sensor, you might have a break in the wiring between the computer and the transmission. Once you have replaced the faulty part or fixed the wiring, clear the code and take the vehicle for a test drive to ensure the transmission shifts smoothly again. Keeping your transmission fluid clean is also key, as dirty fluid can sometimes foul up these sensors. Thanks for watching and good luck with the repair.